Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. Good to be here with you. We are just moving along in this month, aren't we? Just keeps coming along. Um, Today I was thinking, we spend a lot of time in our Monday morning meditations watching our thoughts, just being aware of them, and that is certainly part of our exercise in being aware of what's going on in the mind and being able to see it versus getting lost in it, not being aware of it and following along with what those thoughts are saying. And another part of our meditation or a meditation practice is being okay with being in the internal quiet, just being allowing the quiet. And so I was thinking today we will have our focus be on just practicing being in the quiet. I've mentioned before that there was a little study done, a little experiment done with people sitting in a room and giving participants in this experiment the opportunity to sit in a room. They brought the participants in and they said, "Oh, you know what? I need to go tend to something. I'll be back as soon as I can." And there was this little machine in the room that would give the person an electric shock if they messed around with it. And so the study guide shared this information, don't touch that because it's got a little electric shock to it and it won't hurt you. I mean, it won't kill you, but it definitely gives a little shot. But anyway, I'll be right back. And they left each participant alone in the room for 20 minutes. And the majority of the people in that study could not help themselves. They could not just sit in that quiet alone space for 20 minutes. They had to mess with the little machine that would just give them a little shock, and they would rather do that than sit. It's just kind of shows how the mind and the curiosity just goes and goes and goes, and has a hard time just sitting and being. So part of a meditation practice is, yes, watching our thoughts and being aware of what's going on. And we'll always do that because is, the mind is very active and it takes a long time to be able to really quiet the mind. It takes a long time. And the mind is not just something to quiet, but it's our avenue for learning about ourselves too, because when we're sitting and we're listening to that mind, it's showing us what's going on in our mind all the time. What do we feel worried about? What do we feel anxious about? Who are we angry at? All of those things um, that are telling us any unresolved issues we have to work on, and they're right there to to see when we're paying attention to our thoughts. So there's a purpose to that, not only to practice our meditation, but to look at what other work is there for us to do that is important, forgiveness work and, moving through fears and so forth, and things that are work beyond our given meditation time. So there's that, and that is very important. And it's also important to just practice sitting in the quiet and not paying attention to those thoughts. When we focus on our center in our Monday morning meditations, that is the quietest space within us at the time. I will usually guide you to find where you feel most calm, grounded, neutral. That is your center, where that place in your body where you feel the calmness, where you feel the most like you can just rest your attention. Sometimes it's in the feet, sometimes it's in your bottom in the chair, sometimes it's in your hands, in your lap. I usually like to just focus on my heart because it's away from my head. I've had people who say, well, I feel most calm, grounded, neutral in my head. Okay, that's, whatever works, as long as it's quiet and relaxed. It's something you can relax into and breathe into and just let yourself rest in that center, wherever that is for you. So we're just going to practice just being quiet today, just being quiet, just letting the thoughts go, but even more so, even more than paying attention to those thoughts that are coming and going, putting that full attention on that quiet of your center. So I invite you to get comfortable in your chair right now, wherever you're sitting, laying down. We just take a few deep breaths. We're going to kind of work with a breathing exercise just for a moment where we're breathing in and filling that belly and continue breathing in to filling the lungs, holding it for a moment and then letting it out, releasing the air from the lungs, releasing the air from the belly, feeling that belly relax and pull in as you breathe out. And once again, filling the belly and then the lungs. I'm breathing out, releasing the air from the lungs and the belly. And one more, breathing in, filling that belly, filling the lungs, and releasing top to bottom, the lungs, the belly. And then just let your breathing find its natural pace. Breathing from the belly in that natural pace. That belly breath at its natural rate is our sleeping breath. It's when the body is calm and safe. So as we breathe from that belly during our meditation time, we're letting the body know, letting the mind know that we're just fine right now. We're safe. We can relax. And I invite you to scan your body right now, head to toe, just noticing in your body where you feel most calm, grounded, or neutral. Maybe that's in your back against the chair, maybe your heart center, your hands in your lap, your bottom in the chair, your feet on the floor, wherever feels most grounding, that place where you can just let go and let your attention be there and rest. And when we have found our center, and maybe it's different every time we meditate, when we have found that center, that place where our focus, our mind, our attention can just be, the body relaxes more into that space. The mind slows down. Our breath is calm. And we hear sounds we don't hear when the mind is busy. And we just notice the sounds that are not the mind going. Perhaps we hear cars going by outside. I'm hearing my computer fan humming. Whatever sounds are around you right now, just notice them from this quiet, calm, relaxed space. Perhaps you can hear your own breath. And notice how comforting and calming that is to listen to your breath. You might notice the mind gets antsy when it's so quiet because it's used to being busy and in charge. So just notice that antsiness and notice that you can notice that antsiness, but it's not you. That grounded, quiet presence is you. The mind is separate. And if the mind gets too antsy, just notice your breath. Just follow that breath at its natural pace, coming in through the belly, relaxing the belly as the air moves out. It's so rare and unusual for the mind to not have something to do. When we're focused on the quiet, it can put up an argument about its time out. But it's okay. As we continue to practice, eventually that silence becomes louder than the busy mind. And we find our peace, our answers in that quiet. That quiet is like an open window on a spring day, letting in fresh air, clearing out all the old, musty air of winter. Just feel that cool breeze moving in and through us, reviving and uplifting us for the rest of the day. And if you can sit in that peaceful quiet for longer this morning, I do invite you to do that. If you need to go about your day, let this quiet be just a little bit louder than the mind doing its duties today, your to-do list. Just keep pulling yourself back into this awareness of the quiet. The mind is good at helping us with our tasks. Which reminds me of a quote that said, "The mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master." So we just let that mind be our servant and let the quiet be the master. And that is a wonderful practice for this week, every day, every moment. So we will take that with us today and for this week. Thank you for being here with me today and spending some time in this quiet. It's easier to do when we're doing it together than when we're doing it on our own sometimes. So thank you. It's a powerful practice to get together and meditate together. So thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.